around, my friends. It's another day with Mr. B and friends. Walking the walk, talking the talk, not holding back. Ooh, the bee stings. Oh, watch out.
Hey, good day, everybody. This is Mr. B from Western Australia. Welcome to the show. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Well, it's bloody late here at night. I'll tell you something now, but my friends are keeping me up. I'm having a wonderful time. Anyway, I've got two wonderful guests on today. I've got Heidi and I've got Mr. Eric Mitchell himself, the man himself, a good friend. We've been friends for many years now, and I'm going to bring him on stage. First of all, ladies first. I'm glad to welcome aboard there, Heidi. How are you? No sound there, Heidi. No sound.
Oh, I forgot I turned my mic off for you.
Hey, that's unusual for a lady, not being sexist or anything, not to be heard.
Never fails, man. Good morning, Australia, or good evening, Australia. It's morning.
Yes,
I've just woken up.
It's getting late here. I mean, what's the time now? It's here now. It's at 10:37 p.m.
Oh yeah, it's nighttime for you guys.
And we've got a guy standing in the shadows going, "Hello, who is it?" It's the man himself. G'day there, Eric. How are you, mate? Mr. Eric Mitchell.
Doing great, friend. It's good to see you.
Oh, mate, it's always a pleasure to talk to you and hey, listen, I'm really excited about this new site you guys have started up. Experiences Meet. It's fantastic. Anybody that goes to what's the name of the site now? I'll get this right. Don't lead me to it. I'll get it right. It's called it's called Mighty is the site. And you can log in to Experiences Meet there. Wonderful lot of people there. People who we are. I'm glad to be a part of the team there, and quite honoured actually. And Heidi and Eric are the host of the site, and it's a place for when people can go and talk about their experiences without being kind of laughed at, and they can share their experiences and see us who have had these experiences understand what you go through. It's I know through my own personal experience, going back in 1974 when I had my abduction, it changed my life from that day forward. For 3 years, I suffered anxiety and panic attacks. It was a terrible thing to deal with, and I reckon for the first so many years, I honestly believe I had a near-death experience and something I could not understand. But with the birth of the internet and before Google or before Messenger or any of those came on, we had on the internet that's called bulletin boards, and I started reading some stuff about people who have been abducted, and I've read a lot of books on things like near-death experience, and none of it resonated with me whatsoever. But when I started reading this stuff about small greys and Nordic beings, and all suddenly like somebody punched me in the face and woke me up, and it kind of, oh shit, and it's like, how can I put it? It's like a burden was lifted off my shoulders, but it was still hard to talk about. But it's not about. It wasn't necessarily. this site's not about me. It's about people who have gone through this type of situation and they're saying to themselves, what's going on and why me? That's the question. Why me? And we got no answers. We don't have answers, unfortunately. But
I would say that the site is about you and all of the other experiencers.
Exactly.
I would
understand
say that.
It's somewhere for them to go and somewhere they can kind of unload what's on
Yeah, it's
their
like
mind.
its own little social media.
Yeah.
Just for us.
Exactly. Without being mocked and laughed at, and because we do understand, we certainly do, and yeah, it's a tough. It is a tough journey. It really is. Even my own wife, she thinks it's all nonsense. She's typical Catholic, Christian sort of thing, and anything outside that realm is kind of like evil to her. It's demonic. But yeah, Experiences Meet, guys. If you're an experiencer, please head up to Experiences Meet, and you'll be more than welcome. I tell you that now.
Yeah, just anybody that's interested, they could reach out, contact me, because I like to pre-screen people in person. I've done it for years, so it takes maybe 5 minutes for me to be able to tell if you're a good fit, and we'll get you in there. We've got Jason Sands, we got Science Bob, we've got Patient 9, Timothy Colin, Patient 15, Dr. Steve Colburn, and so many more to add in the future. So it's going to turn out to be a great bunch. We're just starting, I think, Heidi, this weekend, right, to accept people in.
Yeah, we're going to start opening it up on Sunday, I think.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, guys, look, Eric, I want to put on a short video, if you don't mind.
Sure.
And for people to get some idea who you're about,
Is it a video about me being a rascal in a nightclub somewhere, or?
You're just a total dick, mate.
I may have some shared videos from Eric of setting
anyway, there you go. Anyway, I'll put on. Yeah, fine. Here we go.
At the time, I didn't believe in anything UFO, definitely. I grew up traditionally thinking that people like that were absolutely insane.
Can you imagine what it's like having that experience yourself and not being able to tell your family or tell your community, tell your church, tell the people that are the closest to you that should have your back no matter what?
Imagine seeing another life form and not being able to talk about it.
This is happening all the time.
People that have gotten to the stage where they have accepted what these ETs have done to them to alter them to be able to communicate with them.
He can make a sound with his brain.
First you have an alien abduction, then you have an abduction at the hand of humans. Harassment, surveillance, monitoring.
There were so many people involved with this story, it just really captivated me.
You're dealing with people's emotions. You're dealing with people's lives.
I don't fit in this box that you created for me.
We are entitled to know what is going on. Has the Constitution changed? No.
Are they real? Yeah. Are they here? Yeah.
With experiencers, it's always why me? Why does this happen to me? A strong emphasis, not a weak one. And, what do I do with it? Try to figure out and uncover the truth, or try to expose the fact that this is going on in the first place. We are out there.
Here we go. Well, that's it. Hey, you had my good mate, Jim Goodall, on there. So I did send Jim a link, but he probably wasn't out of bed. No, Jim. No,
Yeah,
Jim
it's still
fast asleep. I was supposed to give Jim a call yesterday, so early on to.
Yeah, that film should be out within the next couple of months. They've just got a few things to to tie up.
Right, I understand. And Heidi, anything you want to share, feel free to bring it up. You know, what I mean, but actually, what I want to talk about at the moment, but bring it up. But the state of ufology, where it's going. I mean, aren't you really getting sick and tired? I know I am getting sick and tired of this three-eye atlas. I mean, the stories that are coming up with this, it's like somebody's trying to cause a panic in the world, that cause mayhem and say, oh, we're doomed, we're doomed.
Right. It's just like, this is just the next one. It's very
Oh,
confusing. Well,
it,
so that
right.
Mars rover image they took, and you know, I've got my own images and, you know, not as many videos as I should have. But the Mars rover takes something called a long exposure photo.
Mhm.
So that means like it's open. It's like, you know, you guys see those like the cool like twisty star, like where it's right.
Right.
So the object is moving. I just, you know, want to play devil's advocate here for a moment. The object is moving and the camera lens is open, capturing that light. What's going to happen?
Yeah, you should be streaking. You should see it like a streak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to be like that. So I don't know. I don't think that picture is really an accurate depiction, the one from the Mars rover that's going around, of what this
Well, the
object
latest one,
actually
I
looks
noticed
like.
one. I noticed they say the fly on the rover. Did you see that one? They say they captured a fly, a large blowfly, sitting on the Mars. And I'm going, yeah, here we go again, you know. But what's happening in ufology today? I mean, we've been. My personal look. This is my personal opinion, everybody. It's not fact. I've got to make this quite clear. And if you're very sensitive to my bullshit, well, sorry, move on somewhere else. But again, I mean, I call it how I see it, and what I'm actually seeing, that ufology has been led right up the peripheral path. I mean, 2017, Luis Elizondo came out, and he came, all of a sudden, within 24 hours, we had the Tic Tac UFO. We've had New York Times picking it up. We've had all the other media picking it up. And overnight, within 48 hours, Luis Elizondo was an internet sensation. I mean, out of the blue. I mean, we've had so many researchers and that doing their best job for years, and they never got to the stage within 48 hours as much as Luis Elizondo did. And I mean, look, don't take me wrong. I'm not knocking Luis Elizondo at all, but he's a man doing a job. I mean, he is a patriot. He's a career man. He was in a top job with ATIP, and you don't, that people look. This is my personal opinion. People that are put into jobs like head of the department in the Pentagon, they would have gone through security checks like there's no man's business. They would be psychologically profiled like no man's business. And for a start, they would be career men. And the sad thing about it is, he is, and it's well known that he is an expert in counterintelligence. Now, I mean, this is, to me, in my head, this is ringing a lot of bells. A lot of bells are ringing off in my head, and all of a sudden, everybody's taken note of him. Then they started off. They went to joined up with another group called Back to the Stars Academy, where they ripped off millions of dollars off the public people. You know, public money was donated in. Nothing happened. No, we're just going down, and now we're talking about Intimate, the book Intimate, all suddenly bestseller on the internet. Which, wow, how did that happen? What did the US government buy about 10 million books of these, or what? I don't know. But I'm not knocking the guy. But the guys, I personally, you don't walk away from a head of a department or the Pentagon and start being a whistleblower. You just don't do that. It just wouldn't happen. I mean, that's my personal view. And what's happening in Congress. No, Congress comes up. This is going to happen. This is all going to come out. But it's like you end up with a wet fart every time Congress happens. Nothing happens. And it's like, and what it's doing, I feel like you can't beat an egg from the outside. If you want to destroy it, you're going to destroy it from the inside. And this is what the government is doing. They're trying to destroy ufology from the inside out. They want to implode it, not the death, implode. My first podcast for the last 4 months because I've been absolutely disgusted of how ufology has been going. I'll be honest with you, and I'm thinking we're talking the same crap all the time. The same thing is happening all the time, but nothing's moving, and everything sense that the only people are making money are the people writing books, doing documentaries, like and all thing is that they're giving all this hype for their new documentaries. That's all they're doing. Now, that's my personal opinion. I don't know about you guys, but if you any.
Should I, Heidi?
I mean, it's pretty early for me, so I don't think the restricted time has started yet.
All right. So,
And action.
yeah. So if you rewind the clock back one more year, 2016, we get a call from our smoking man, Bob Kavanaugh. This was before he died and came back. But that's another story for another time. Bob gets a hold of us and asks if we will meet him at the Wiener's house. Jack and Jim Wiener, Allagash twins, 1972 abduction. And Bob was intelligence. He wasn't counterintelligence. He was a white hat intelligence / experiencer. He wanted to see us succeed. So he literally staged his own death to leave intelligence. His obituary is online. As a matter of fact, Heidi and I have a YouTube channel where we talk about, Bob coming back. But that's a long story. But he invited Travis Walton, Audrey Hewins from Starborn Support, and some of the top cases in America to all meet at this one location. So we all met at Jack's house. He pulls up, and we just have a great time, a great weekend. But the biggest warning he had, the reason why he called us all together, like none of us had ever seen his face before. He was a ghost, It was really neat just to meet him in person. Heck of a guy. And so he sat us down to tell us that in 2017, they plan on releasing a news article through the New York Times, and it will be the beginning of a controlled disclosure. Now, at the time, I'm on the phone with a man by the name of Joseph Firmage. Now, Joseph is extremely intelligent, and he could be taken wrongly in so many ways. You really got to study the man to understand him. He is plastered all over the internet as an alcoholic, as a thief, as a liar. Like the CIA set him up big time. So he was under oversight because of his technology. And so the CIA would often check on him, see what he's working on, make sure it's safe. And he showed a piece of technology that was next level, 1 over Unity type of device. And one of the guys in the CIA kind of leaned over the device and said, "That reminds me of the Eric Mitchell case." Well, Joe's never heard of me before. So being the genius that he is and quirky, he jumps on the phone, finds me on Facebook and calls me. So he said, quickly, tell me what it looked like. How did it move? And a bunch of questions. So I told him quite a bit, and he starts to giggle a little bit. And I said, "Look, buddy, if you're going to heckle me, I'm not going to do your show." He said, No. I'm not a radio show host. He said, "I'm a scientist." And so we ended up on the phone for about 6 hours after that. Now, Joe's company at the time was INTERNASA, International Academy of Science and Arts. They had next level physics, next level technologies, and they were getting close to having the ability of building their own UFO, which was exciting. They offered a man, a social media guy, $300,000 to make Joe popular. The plan was, once we get Joe popular, then we can move forward with the other CIA people and whistleblowers and stuff like that. Problem was, you couldn't make Joe popular. He's a scientist. He's not a media guy at all. So the plan was at that time to get rid of him and find somebody that's popular. Once they got rid of him, they can get their hands on his technology and move forward. They needed the technology portion to be a part of it, you know, something tangible, so people have more belief system in what's going on. And this New York Times release, well, a guy by the name of Tom DeLonge started poking around. Some of these guys got together and said, Tom DeLonge's already popular. He knows how to be popular, and he's really into this subject. So almost overnight, with Lou Elizondo and the usual crew from the CIA, they formed, took away from Internasa. They had Joe arrested for elderly abuse. He loved his father. He would never, ever harm his father. And had him arrested and put in prison. Now that they have Tom DeLonge, they need a new name, to the Stars Academy of Science and Arts. So then the name didn't change a whole lot, but it changed a little bit. Technology that they promised, they never got it from Joe. So, I mean, that was an outright lie straight out of the gate. But that was not my involvement, but my knowledge at the time in 2016 because of Bob Kavanaugh.
Wow.
That's a lot to take in, but
Yeah, it is, isn't it? You know,
yeah, that's definitely controlled disclosure all the way up till today. And I think people that are entertained by this subject go for the buzzword of the day. They wake up, they turn on their TV, and they go for the buzzword. And since we're really trained to do that anyway, we do that when it comes to this subject as well. So you can't, you know, take away from what's going on behind the scenes as we're being entertained.
that I understand. That I understand. Well, the point is, you got to get away. I mean, I don't know. I mean, just that's it. I mean, what we're actually doing now, it is a form of entertainment, if you like it or not. I mean, you can't get away from it. But I like to say I like to be saying I'm putting it out there to be for people to be aware that there's more to it than actually just entertainment. And I mean, personally, I don't chase numbers. I really don't, and I'm not interested in numbers or I mean, as much as I've got to say, how about tickling the like and subscribe button? I mean, if they do or not, doesn't bother me. You know, I mean, I'll still sleep. I mean,
right? It's sharing is caring.
Exactly. Sharing is caring, and that's the most important thing. And the most important thing is listening. Be observant to what's happening around you. I mean, because
what was it?
What's happening on the internet at the moment? It's, as far as I'm concerned, it's being controlled. It is being controlled, and it's so obvious. It's like the nose on my face. I mean, you can't get away from it. It is being controlled, and as you said, it is a controlled.
Yeah. What was it, Heidi? International UFO Congress was it 2022?
No, I think it was 21.
21.
22 was the me, you, and Masters thing. So it was, it would have been 21 was when it was only virtual, or was it 20?
Well, I had a lot of connections with people with, Dr. Gary Nolan, Stanford University. I had obtained a lot of knowledge. I also introduced some scientists to what was going on over there so they can kind of dabble in it as well. And so I got to learn a lot about experiencer studies on a medical sense. And so I was asked to speak that year. Because of COVID, it was online, which is terrible for me. I'm better standing behind a podium than I am behind a camera. But they lined me up after Lou Elizondo. And so I knew one weekend Dr. Gary Nolan wasn't working on this particular subject because he had to fly out to Vatican City, drive 11 miles north to a restaurant, and meet with a man by the name of Lou Elizondo. Now, this meeting was purely about physically affected people from the phenomenon. So we didn't get any work done that weekend. Gary wasn't in the picture.
I've heard about this. Carry on.
So 2021, we do a, he does his speech, and during the Q&A, someone asked him if he knew anything about physically affected people, and he immediately got angry, slammed his hand on the desk, and said there is no such thing as physically affected people. He said, I checked. Well, the talk was over.
Gary Nolan said the opposite, didn't he?
Yeah.
He
He had a briefing with Gary Nolan before that ever happened. He had a briefing, and I know it for a fact. I know the scientists that were supposed to meet, the subject we were supposed to talk about that weekend, and Gary couldn't make it because he was briefing Lou Elizondo. So fast forward to 2021, he slams his hand on the desk and he says, there's no such thing as physically affected people. And the camera goes, and what a coincidence. Heidi is running the conference, online. So my entire talk was about physically affected people. And I got so much crap.
You're on mute.
No, I was saying I was helping run it. There was a team. But yeah, it was like, oh, here comes Heidi's friend, Eric, talking about physically affected people directly, like after the, yeah. And that video, it may be, I don't know if it's still available on the International UFO Congress site. Like it's a pay for site, but.
Yeah, Mr. Foote would have it. He collects everything behind me. So
we'll have to find out.
People ask for receipts. He's one of those people that is probably going to put out an awful lot of receipts that I don't want out public. But, and people deserve to know these things, but I just don't like that kind of attention. I'd rather be on Mr. B's show or Experience Your 1111 with Heidi than any of the big shows or anything like that. I like to get things done in quiet, maybe talk about it later on. But that's definitely a counterintelligence move, if you ask me, to get a briefing.
It's good to be able to speak from the heart and speak what's on your mind. And I don't worry about what other people think. They can go to hell as far as I'm concerned. Hey, my reality is different to yours and so forth, So don't criticize what I think or feel. I'll respect you, you respect, but my reality is real to me. That's as far as I can say, and nothing's going to shake that, nothing at all. So, and you can't control it. And I will keep speaking the truth as long as it takes. And I will. Even in my life was that danger with it. I will still keep talking truth. I will. And no ifs about it, because it's not something you can just kind of lay down and say, it will go away if you don't talk. See, that's the trouble these days, especially with the Australian government. Australian government do not have a policy of giving out information. In there, there's no such thing as what's the word I'm looking for? Freedoms of information. If we ignore it, it will go away. And that's their attitude in Australia. If we ignore it, it will go away. And
yeah,
for many years since the Westall school incident, like it happened in Africa, where all these school children saw witnessed a UFO landing, aliens popping out of it. Small aliens standing about 4.5 feet tall. And we're not talking about one or two kids. We're talking about 60 kids, maybe more, witnessed all this, including science teacher and everybody else. But yet the Australian government says, oh, well, we don't know nothing about this. But it happened, and you can't ignore it. And it's like, nobody wants to talk about it. You can't shut it up. We won't talk about it. I had an experience many years ago. And I was actually went on a holiday about 1979 I went from New South Wales to the Northern Territory, up to the Golfing Carpentaria with a couple of mates, Derek and Colin, and we had a dual trailer with a big 21-foot boat on it. We going, hey, scuba diving and fishing, you know. But when we got up there, apparently too many crocodiles for our liking. We got caught out, and the tide went out, and all these big fat crocodiles, sea crocs, are sitting on the friggin' mud banks, you know. And we couldn't get in, so we waited hours to be able to get our boat back in, you know. Anyway, we thought, nah, this was a wrong call, you know. So we packed up. We ended up getting in, got in safely enough once the tide got in, and we took off, and we head to northern Queensland. We went across. We couldn't take a highway, so we took what they call fire tracks. They're like graded roads. They're not tarmac. They're graded roads for fire trucks, for bushfires and things like that. And on this journey, we kept there. It was in the late evening, and we kind of camped up. And I know I was drinking my jacks, and one of the boys was playing the guitar. I think it was Colin. He was doing the barbecue, you know, like on the gas burner and everything. And he say, "Hear this?" And we said, "What?" He said, "Nothing. It's silent." All the crickets suddenly went quiet. You know, it's because in the bush you hear all these crickets, you know, the noise, bush noise, you know, and it suddenly went dead silent. And we looked over in distance on the horizon. It looked like a big bushfire miles and miles away. It was just this light, and it's, oh shit, it looks like there's a fire coming. Because this is in the tropics of Queensland. And anyway, so we just looked at it, and all of a sudden, within about half an hour, we had this, I wouldn't say triangle, it was a kite-shaped craft coming over our head, literally over. Say a diamond shape, if you want to call it otherwise, but it was a diamond shape. I think it was more kite shape, and all underneath was luminous, and it was like rippling. Like you ever seen the heat coming off a highway when you're driving? Like you get that rippling heat coming off the road. And it was like this rippling underneath this craft, and around it were these orange orbs circling it. It's like they were protecting whatever it is, you know. And anyway, we couldn't speak. And I know one of the guys got out the camera, and they took a photograph of it and everything else. But I think it was Colin took a photograph of it. Anyway, we couldn't sleep the rest of the night. We ended up repacking up everything back into the boat, because we used the boats to try to carry everything. So we put everything back in the boat, and we set off about 5 o'clock. And about an hour and a half, 2 hours on our journey, we came across a roadblock. And all these roadblocks, all I can say is these people must have been what they call special air services, because I know special air services are the only people that balaclava their heads, right? Normal soldiers don't do that shit, right? So they had the balaclavas on, but they were like bush hats on, and they all carried automatics. And this bloke pulled us over and says, "What are you doing on this track?" "Oh, we're taking a shortcut to Cairns." And he says, "Well, you know, you're miles off the main highway." And I said, "Yeah, we know that. That's why we take the shortcut to Cairns, because we're carrying plenty of fuel on board." And he said, and out of the blue, he turned around and says, "Have you seen anything unusual?" And Colin turned around and said, "No." Why? What's happening? You know? I mean, he thought ahead, you know, like said, "No, we didn't see jack shit." And the bloke says, "Okay." He says, "Okay, look, if you're going to keep going," he says, "look, don't stay off this, don't go off this road, stay on it. We're doing military exercises at the moment, so be careful." Okay. Now, we noticed that there were people in the bush on either side of the road with automatic rifles pointing at us. We noticed that. And the thing is, in Australia, they all had an American accent. Get that one, right? Now, we set off on our way, and of course, by the time we got actually Bridgetown, I think it was not Bridgetown, Port Macquarie. I think it was Port Macquarie, before we went down to Cairns. He turned and said, "Hey, shout, it's really weird." We actually talked about it. And he says, "Hey, I wonder what that was all about." And I said, "Well, better off not knowing." But it was real. It was an experience. It's not the first one I've ever seen in my life, um, but yeah, what can you say? I mean, it's one of those things where you know something. There was a bigger picture here. There was a bigger picture. They knew. Hey, you want to know? Did we see anything? And it wasn't for Colin saying no. What are you talking about, mate? You know, I mean, I don't know what would have happened to us if we said, yeah, we saw blah blah blah. Who knows what would have happened to us? I
Yeah.
don't.
I'm glad you guys said no.
Well, I didn't. It was Colin did, I think. But yeah, it was weird. It was actually a weird situation. But that was a journey I'll never ever forget. I put it in a documentary in one of my earlier shows, uh, but it was weird, and it's strange how everything went quiet before it happened. It's like nature knows, you know. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
Yep.
weird.
I've been in that situation where every cricket, every bird, everything just stops, you know, and it's so common, you know. But, you know, there are countries out there that are really not part of the legacy program, but outside of the legacy program. Been talking to some leaders in Japan, some in Congress, some in high up situations, and they've formed over 100 people to get together every month and talk about this subject, the sociology, the psychology, what this means for their population, what does it mean for the world's population. And I'm really happy to see that side of the world kind of waking up a little bit and taking initiative into figuring out what's going on. And the last congressman I talked to in Japan was actually an experiencer himself. So, wonderful people over there, and I hope what they're doing grows. And of course, I'm always happy to help out any way I can.
You know what the funny thing about it is, from that experience I had in northern Queensland, later on, we all just pissed ourselves laughing about it because we've got photo. Colin showed. It was Derek actually. It was actually Derek that took the photographs, not Colin. And when he developed them, you should have seen him. You would have pissed yourself laughing. Have you ever seen somebody that's been playing around with a Tesla coil and their hair stands up? Well, we all had. I mean, we're going back 1979. We're in a generation with long hair. You know what I mean? It was a sight to see. Believe me, it really was.
That's awesome.
Maybe this particular face with this hair standing up. Oh, God. I've been trying to get touch with the guys, trying to see if we get all the photographs because I love to get them. I love to get those photographs. I really would. That's a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's hilarious.
Great.
Yeah. It's life, hey. It's life. I mean, shit happens. I mean, that my actually last UFO sighting was back in 2016. It was actually I think April 8th, and I started work in the early hours of the morning at 20 to. I actually started work at 5 in the morning, and right outside the place of work, I actually I was on the way to work. I saw this like it's like a shooting star in my peripheral vision, but it came to a dead stop in the sky, just dead stop. And all of a sudden, I couldn't do anything. My phone was in my pocket. I had a Galaxy S5 at the time. My phone was in my pocket. I was still driving. I had to turn right. So by the time I pulled into the car park and got outside the place of employment, I looked up. So I thought, I'll take a video clip of this. There's a little star moving. There was two crafts in the sky, one large one and one small one, like a star moving. And I took a photograph of it, and a video and a photograph actually. And I reported to MUFON. It's a MUFON case. You can find it there. 2016. It's at Rockingham, Western Australia, and I blew up. I don't think I've got it on this system at the moment, but if I did, I would show. Anyway, apparently, let's have a look. Do I have it? And
Usually when you see one, you're not going to be aware of the others that are kind of looking out for the guy that comes all the way down. They're going to look like stars. Um, Sometimes there's a lot and you don't even notice, but yeah, I've had several pictures of mine uh, with some people that play around on it, change the contrast a little bit. And I thought there was one object in my yard, and it turns out there's 12, maybe 15 objects just above that one, just observing. So
yeah, here's a photograph of it, right? I think I've found one. Now, if you look at the one on the left and just imagine to yourself Anunnaki, okay? I'll just ask you to think that Anunnaki.
wow.
Right? And now
Interesting.
that one on the left, that would have been about 4 or 5 miles away. And the one on the right, after I took the photograph, it split up into 3 parts. One went north, one went south, and one went east. Straight up metal, like shooting stars. Boom, just detached themselves. Now, you see what I mean about Anunnaki shape with the one on the left?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And now, if you can actually find a
And you could see that shape with your own eyes when you were looking at it, or only in the photo?
only in the photo,
Hmm.
only in the photo, because the actual the one to the right, the little one near the building, people say, "Oh, that's got to be it could be a light," and it wasn't a light because I got other photos to back up. There's nothing there, right? Only that, and I've got video showing somewhere. I don't think I've got the video. Like, do I have it? Do I have it? Let's have a look. No, no, don't have a video. Don't have the video. I don't think. No, don't have the video. Unfortunately, there's my doggy kind of making the. He wants to get in on the show. No, I don't have the. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Photo, right? It's nowhere near where the lamp was. So, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy, eh? Back on stage. There we go. So that's the last UFO I saw, and it was, to me, it's absolutely. And if you go and have you ever seen those pyramid capping stones where they actually got the wing shape with a circle in it? You can virtually look at it as identical. So what did the Egyptians see? And carved into rock. It's history in the right in the making, you know. But people say, "Oh, it's your imagination running wild with you, okay?" But I know what I looked at. I know what I've seen. So that's the important thing, you know. But,
Well, it's coming out. It's coming out recently that there are locations and places under the ocean where these things are known to come and go. I've had a few officials contact me about that, and so they're aware of it. You know, and these are white hats, not counterintelligence, guys that are trying to figure out their job. You know,
Yep.
and they don't often like to reach out to civilians, but you know, Heidi and I are pretty known out there. So once they started asking around,
I'm mysterious, dude. I'm not known.
well, yeah, you know, you mention your name, you're known. Yeah. So
Well, look, it just comes down to the point where, look, I've been saying for years, and on one of my older shows, I talked about um, what's going on in the oceans. And look, how many millions of years ago was it when the Neanderthal, whatever the first species of human was, well before Homo sapiens sapiens? They say we all started off as a piece of fungi, and it kind of grew from there, and bacteria and whatever. From all that, we've got lizards and insects and humans, or human-like species. But remember, people got to remember, the oceans were more evolved and living life in the oceans a long time before we came along. Maybe a couple of million years, maybe 5 million years. I mean, the Earth is over 4.5 billion years old. Now, they say by the time the Earth cooled down and everything else, but the Earth could be 5.5 billion years old. No one really knows. They can't really kind of make it exact. I mean, it's only a guessing game. But at the end of the day, what's to say if life suddenly began on the land surface, what actually started in the oceans before it started on land? And what's to say that an intelligent race started off in the oceans long before human species came along? Now, why I say this is that you don't get Homo sapiens going living in a gorilla habitat. No way in the world. You're going to say, no, too dangerous. They're mad. They're crazy, right? They're vicious, right? They're not civilized. We don't live with tigers or lions or anybody like that, right? Because they'll eat us. I mean, you know, we're part of their food chain. But at the end of the day, if you are an advanced civilization, you look at Homo sapiens, and all of a sudden they've been to war. They're killing each other. They make movies. They make war movies, and they call it entertainment. I mean, what kind of a civilization are we? I mean, we have people killing each other. We sit back and say, "Oh, that was a great action movie. We enjoy it." I mean, I'm trying to look outside the box and looking at how would an advanced civilization look at us as barbarians, cruel, nasty, glorifying war, and especially during the Second World War when they're dropping bombs everywhere. Now we all know that whales can actually speak to each other from northern hemisphere to southern hemisphere in song underwater. Now, how much more can advanced civilization hear the sounds of bombs going off on the ground, in the water, right? And yet these Foo Fighters come and they're saying, "What the hell's going on here?" And they're having a look. They're going around, they're having a look. And then all of a sudden, we're letting off nuclear bombs. And now we've got these UFOs going to nuclear weapons depots, you know, and they're shutting down these silos. They're shutting everything down. It's their world too. I mean, this is hypothetically. I don't think it's silly or too far-fetched. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, it's spot on.
Sounds more feasible. What the hell? On? It's their planet too, and they've been around a lot longer than us. And if they don't want to associate with us, I can understand. Especially when we say, can't even live with each other.
It's a valid point.
Yeah, we certainly don't go to the Sentinel Island looking for, you know, new friends. You know, those Aborigines will eat you alive, and they have no idea what the outside world is like. They probably all have a heart attack if you pick one of those guys up, put them on a plane, and dropped them off in New York City. It would just be devastating, you know, to them to know how advanced we are, our culture, our ways. You know, it's got to be around.
During
Maybe
the
this.
Second World War, some of these natives on these islands saw an airplane, and they thought it was God. Now they're portraying these airplanes in their dance. You know,
Yep.
unbelievable. You know,
Yeah.
and you know, if you ever stop to think that as a species, I mean, with radio, look, we make TV shows, we do documentaries, we broadcast on the airways. Now, everything that's broadcast travels at light speed. Now, for over 70 odd years, radio waves have been transmitting into space. So therefore, we're going 70 odd light years away from Earth. Okay. No, that's the reality of these signals being sent out there. And all of a sudden, if you're an intelligent species and suddenly you're picking up these waves and you can decode them and you can say, oh shit, look at this. Movies of war and pestilence, they're showing concentration camps of the Second World War, and how horrific that must be to an intelligent species. And all of a sudden they see videos of nuclear explosions and stuff like that. And what makes it even more scary, now they're actually seeing TV series of Star Trek. Right now, just because their culture is different, do they understand the fact that we have actors? Because it may not be in their culture, right? Do they understand what entertainment of sci-fi movies is about? It may not be in their culture, but what they actually see is a species beaming themselves up, not understanding what it's all about, but they see it on film. They actually see it with lasers coming out of their starship and blowing up other ships. I mean, what kind of message would that give another species that doesn't understand our culture and our nature of life, of entertainment and everything else? It's like we couldn't understand if we suddenly dropped on a tropical island, we wouldn't understand their cultural dance. We just wouldn't.
Unless we are their television.
Interesting. But that's also another reason why they don't want to talk to us. It's like they're freaking psycho. Well, it's an interesting concept. That's what I say. You know, I mean, it's another way of looking at things, which we don't stop to think about this. That's the thing. I mean, we send out messages saying, hello, anybody out there, you know, but what's his name? That scientist telling us to be careful of all the bloody what you transmit out to space. He's dead now. What's his name? Mental block. Anyway, he says yes, it's dangerous to actually transmit information about what we do on Earth.
Yeah. And I think about it, B. We've got gifting sites, not just from the last 100 years, but we've gotten gifting sites in very particular areas all over the world. And it was celebrated by the native Indians when they would get a gift from the sky people. It was highly protected, you know, and you know, kept away from other tribes. And that was their thing to learn. So why are they giving us advanced technology? You know, it's probably not to use for war, but to use for peace. And these things are getting snatched up and they're being used for war. And we're being lied to about it. These technologies are slowly drip fed to us once they're done with it. You know, this breakaway civilization has squandered the technologies, built
the industrial military complex, mate. Definitely.
Yeah, billions and billions of dollars worth of, you know, technologies to drip feed to the public, you know, integrated computer chips, cell phones, you know, fiber optics, there's no telling what's being held back from us to have a better planet. I don't think we would have war if we didn't have want. And most people on this planet are have or want something. Most people on this planet just want basic needs, and even that's being squandered from us. Look at, we were just talking about the Philippines, where they needed these walls to prevent all the flooding, and the people that were given the contract money went out and just bought themselves a bunch of things. And so and that's I think the key problem. They're giving us technologies, and war machine is sweeping them.
The key problems, and I think it's in most governments of the world. I'll be honest, not just the Philippines. It's greed and power is a terrible thing, and it's
Well, and a lot of people on Earth believe that they're evolved, but unfortunately, that just is not the case.
well,
Yeah, we're still working on.
Look, I'm all for assisting a third world country, but I'm also a firm believer is that look after your vets and look after the homeless in your own country first, because they are true victims, and if they are overlooked, well, your government's failing. It's failing to look after its people. It's failing to do the right thing. I mean, it's like me saying, "Oh, I've got one sandwich here. Am I going to give it to my child, or am I going to give it to a stranger? I'm going to give it to my child."
Yeah, that's why we have.
You got to prioritize who comes first, who comes second, and who comes third. Because at the end of the day, I mean, the greatest country in America, the most powerful country in the world is America. The richest country in the world is America. Like, that's becoming debatable now. I think China's the most richest country in the world at the moment. But one of the most powerful countries in the world, I do believe, is America. And America foreseeing their vets and homeless people. And it's the same in Australia too, not just America, where we've got people now. There's not enough housing for people. People now living in their cars and in the street. I mean, the old world's gone, excuse my language, everybody, shit. It's gone to crap. It really has. And we need for a change. We are due. Actually, believe it or not, I like Donald Trump. I really do. I mean, a lot of people probably don't and probably won't like me for saying that, but I believe Donald Trump. He's a bit of a narcissist, but that's okay. At least he's getting things done.
Why me? I often think that this intelligence kind of notices people that are evolving, and that those people are what we call experiencers now. Now that we're doing the neurological studies and things of that nature, Dr. Diana Pasulka, Dr. Gary Nolan, Dr. Jim Segala, and so many more say that these people are not crazy. They are more evolved. And
I like Dr. Gary Nolan. I mean, he really puts it out there, and he.
Oh yeah.
And he's made the statement where he's pretty restricted. He's actually made that statement. There's stuff he can't talk about,
Oh yeah. Well, the curiosity of a scientist will run a scientist's life, So the more he agrees to sign NDAs, the more he's going to learn. So he's just going to sign away, and I just hope he stops before he gets buried in the paperwork.
Well, listen, guys, we're coming on the hour now. Tell me, what's your outcome? What's your opinion of the outcome for future of ufology? Go with you, Heidi. What's your?
I would say that the future of ufology is probably, and I hope that I'm biased when I say this, but is going to shift more towards those of us who actually are having experiences and not the authors out there trying to capitalize on people's deep emotions and trauma from having these experiences.
Yeah,
she nailed it.
What about you, Eric? I mean,
sorry, bro.
I mean, people are out there going to capitalize on it for sure. That's a fact. There's no ifs or buts about it, But
yeah, I couldn't say it better than Heidi, but I was
That's
working
why
with
we're friends.
yeah, I was working with Dr. Edgar Mitchell, the sixth man on the moon, and Ray Hernandez, a Berkeley PhD candidate, tax attorney, and we all decided we were going to do the world's first academic study into experiencers, which that turned into a 980-page book, pie graphs, and everything. And that kind of allowed me to approach PhDs and say, hey, if you're not looking into the subject, read that book and tell me if I'm wrong. And so it got a lot of academics hooked into it. So I think there's going to be an awful lot of not just politicians, because there's an awful lot of those as well, but PhDs, people that can really put it to the test. And eventually there's going to be, a society of scientists that really nail this thing down, and so, yeah, the entertainment field can be fun for people, and they need it because, some people just want to believe, and the entertainment process in the mind is the only way they could perceive the whole conversation. But us experiencers, we use our intellectual mind and our emotional mind to try to hold ourselves together with the knowledge that we have. And Heidi's right. There's a faction that wants to capitalize instead of study. And if these studies had capital, we'd be good to go.
Yeah, I agree. And
100%.
look, my shortcut. There's a new tomorrow, and it's coming, and it's going to come with wrath. I believe it or not. Hey, and I'm going to finish up. If you want to listen to my song, Heidi, this is. Way to finish an evening, isn't it? Oh, morning for you guys.
You don't have any fiddle on there.
Hey, there we go. Listen to it, guys.
Do you remember when
Good talking to you, B.
Great talking to you.
Listen to it.
quickly smiled and walked away?
Sit back.
I saw you
I'm
with
promoting my song here.
anticipation. Yes, my love, I remember that day, and now I dedicate my love to you, dear. Yes, I dedicate my love to only you, for it's you that's in my heart now. And forever, it's a love, my dear, that will never part. Do you recall those special moments, how we held each other in our arms, and how we danced and laughed away the hours? They are the moment I could never part. Do you recall those special moments, how we held each other in our arms, and how you danced and laughed away the hours? They are the moments I could never part. Yes, I remember those moments, and now I dedicate my love to you, dear. Yes, I dedicate my
how about that?
I like that you put the slide guitar in there too.
Yep.
Gotta have slide guitar.
I created the old song and I used programs to help get it together. So, yeah, all my own lyrics, my own tune, everything. And it took me ages to do, actually, believe it or not. But yeah, it's fun, isn't it? besides
Amazing what we
doing
can do now.
and experiencing stuff, it's I just enjoy. So I gather Eric must have left us. Said
He
"See
went
you
to
later,
audio only.
Eric." Are you there, Eric?
Yeah, I'm here, my friend.
Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Picking your nose or something? What are you up to, buddy?
I was taking you guys to the bathroom with me.
That's
Yeah. At
that's
least
very
you muted.
Anyway, listen. Hey, there's the man. Anyway, listen, Heidi, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, tonight it's lovely having you with us. But tonight was kind of off the cuff. I mean, I was talking to Eric earlier on, and I just split open my first can of JD, Jack Daniels, double strength, and I thought, by the time I got to the third one, I said to, "Hey, Eric, do you fancy doing a show tonight?" And he says, "Yeah, why not, buddy?" And of course, I had a bit of Dutch courage. I haven't done a show for 4 months, believe it or not. And
Welcome back.
oh, thank you very much. And it's lovely to have lovely people like yourselves. And mate, let's do this again. The three of us. Maybe we might get my good friend Jim Goodall and a few other friends on with us. Jim Goodall and Michael Schratt. Get him on with us. He's good. He's a lovely man. Lovely man indeed, Michael Schratt. You know Michael Schratt?
Yeah, I don't know if I've met him, but I definitely want to catch up with Jim. It's been a little while.
Yeah. Michael Schratt's a good bloke, mate. He does all this UFO rendering, stuff, and he's a great speaker. He's part of the UFO. Found out one of the solid members of the UFO movement, disclosure movements, and lovely man, non-pretentious, great guy, great researcher. I mean, actually, I'd like to get Preston Dennett on as well. I mean, he said he'll come on the show sometime, so I'll get him on. So, yes. Anyway, Heidi, thank you for coming on, Mr. B and Friends.
Thank you for having us. And can I say one thing really quick?
And your new wonderful friend,
I
do.
Yeah, you want to be friends?
Yeah,
we are friends. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and
you're in our special group.
Yeah, we will connect. We will connect. Apparently,
for other experiencers.
Yeah, and our Mr. Experiencer himself, there, Mr. Eric Mitchell, will give you all the information how to get in contact and everything, so we can.
Yeah, you guys can find us on Experiencer 1111 on YouTube.
Yep, my oath.
Please and thank you.
I'm there, and everybody, yes, go to. Yeah, do you know what the 1111 stands for?
We're still chasing that one down.
No, I can tell you what 1111 stands for. Spiritual, mystic, spiritual well-being.
Well, that's what evolution is about. If you look at the species that do evolve on this planet, it seems to be more and more consciousness every time we evolve. Just like experiencers, we have.
What's that you got there? Sorry. Hey, come on, bring it back in. Go on, bring it back. What is it? Come on.
Come on, Lily.
Now that it's on cue, he's like, the photo bombing was more fun. Say hi to Australia.
I know. It's shy. It's a cutie. Anyway, listen, Eric, thank you very much for joining us, mate. And we will catch up again soon. I enjoyed it. I love it. Oh, wonderful. Hey, go on. You can pull a face anytime at me. I mean, my wife does that all the time. She pulls a face at me. Yeah. Wonderful. Don't you just love? Yeah. Anyway, how old is she there, Heidi?
11.
Yeah. No, mate. They get worse as they get older. You know that, don't you? Especially when they get about 15. That's when they really start talking back at you and stuff like that. Anyway,
DNA, I think we can expect a lot from this one.
Anyway, again, guys, thank you for joining me, and everybody, thank you for joining us. And remember, be nice, be kind, just be wonderful to each other, and aspire to inspire one another. That's important, so we can all rise up together. You know what I mean?
That's it. That is it.
Thank you very much. Bye bye now.
Bye, thank you.